the Altair under the back
Being recorded.
to the IMSAI-JAIR.
Yeah.
And then see if I can get that up and running.
Yeah,
So
I did. Go ahead.
it's a project.
Yeah, I actually I bought the fiber because one of the units I have doesn't have the actual MSI glass, the black glass there on the thing. So I
Okay,
actually
yeah.
bought one of those from Parastream, and I've bought two covers because both of them are missing the covers. Very, I would say they're pricey, but they are beautiful covers.
Yeah,
And,
I was
and
impressed with it. The whole chassis and everything, with the gold anodizing and everything, and the quality of everything.
yeah,
Very not cheap, but it was good quality.
yeah. So I'm happy because again, in the end, if it's gonna, I was thinking of trying to bend my own and do it. Then I'm thinking in the end, I'm taking a machine that could be somebody's collector's item when I'm gone, maybe somebody
Yeah,
and getting cheap on it, and right then the opportunity of getting a cover that will fit it, which it fits perfect
right.
and looks good and functionally. That's why I kind of went with it. It was well worth it.
Yeah.
I give him credit. He's done a nice job with the pieces I've bought from them. I mean, I've only bought a few little, the covers and the front,
Yeah.
just the front plate and a few
Yeah.
other things. So, yeah,
it's all nicely packaged with IMSAI boxes and everything.
yeah. I've saved the boxes. The boxes are cool.
All
So
the stuff from Parastream is supposed to be an exact copy of the original IMSAI 8080. They had a complete unbuilt kit that they used as their startup to get everything exactly correct.
Yeah,
the chassis is every screw hole and every tab and bend is identical to the original. So.
Yeah.
Luckily, they didn't follow the original linear power supply design.
No, he. That's what we were talking about. He actually has a.
Yeah, I know. I love.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I haven't bought one, but I looked at his power supply and I thought if I'd found that before I built out my 8800 clone, I might have used one of those instead of just a standalone Meanwells if I could make it fit.
Yeah.
It's super clean.
So he basically just sells a plate that you put your standalone Meanwells on the plate to mount in there.
Right. Yeah. Well, he sells it as a kit with all the Meanwells and everything already now.
Yeah.
It's $300. I'm looking at the website. It's $300, but that's, if it works, that's money well spent.
Yeah, it's a drop in. Yeah, that's cool. So
yeah. Believe me, I've been circling buying one of his kits for a while now. I just got to convince my wife that $2,200 is not expensive.
It's not. No,
I just tell her it's cheaper than one of your new looms. She weaves.
Oh, there you are.
And I think she's up to 9 looms of different types.
Oh God.
So generally these arguments aren't too hard. Yeah. It's funny because I had a friend way back with original IMSAI, and I can still remember one of the most fun things we ever did was I had an old S100 floppy disk controller because I was switching out to a different one, and we went over to his place and hand assembled a bootloader so that we could boot off the floppy and then burn an EEPROM for a boot prom. But we spent like 4 hours writing a 40-byte assembly language program by hand on a pad of paper, with the opcode book, with the Intel opcode book, and going, okay, we got it written. Now let's hand assemble it. Now let's hand load it. But I always remember that. That was a really fun evening, even though it took us 4 or 5 hours.
No, that's time well spent. Honestly, that made you probably the engineer and computer person you were. I mean, later on in life, honestly,
it was. It was good fun, that one. And he got to the point then because this was late 80s, so his teletype Model 33 was actually just the stand for his IMSAI, and he had a regular telephone sitting beside it. He just had the IMSAI sitting on top of the Model 33.
Yeah.
I should get a hold of him and see if he still got it.
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, how's everybody doing this week? All good.
Yeah.
Who snagged that H19 off of I forget if it was Craigslist or Goodwill?
Oh,
So,
yeah, I saw you post it. I didn't follow it close
yeah, me
enough.
neither.
Well, the listing disappeared within a few hours, so somebody
It,
bought it.
you helped somebody.
Yeah.
Uh,
I tell you, those places are, good to look for computer parts. I
Right.
mean, you might take 6 months to find what you're looking for, but
I
you get a lot better prices than eBay and Amazon.
Yeah, you can find some good deals through the Goodwill website, but the problem
Mhm.
is they've got smart, so none of that stuff shows up in the stores anymore.
Yeah, the last thing I think I sent Walt, I guess if I can find a picture of it. I sent Walt a picture where he's made wooden cases for me for Altair, and
Uh-huh.
I actually came across a Vistar, Vivatr, I don't know, Vistar keyboard that's actually looks like it's made out of wood.
Oh
It's
yeah.
actually
Well,
I don't know
yeah,
if
those are bamboo.
bamboo. That's what it was. Looked like
There's
bamboo type
there's
thing.
like several companies making wooden keyboards,
Yep.
but they make them out of walnut and Coca-Cola and
Yep.
bamboo. Most of it's bamboo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Bamboo
one's
is a
definitely
little more
bamboo.
durable than other woods.
If I could find it,
Yeah, I've
I'm
seen a
trying to.
bunch of those out there. Some of them are ridiculously expensive.
Most of them
Where's
are.
Most
Goodwill?
of them are, yeah.
Here it is. Goodwill for $6. That's what I paid.
Okay, that one's probably made out of
it's the
matchwood.
No,
uh,
it's the picture.
that's,
It's bamboo.
yeah. I'm
Wow.
gonna see if I have the picture up. I gotta see
Yeah.
how I go about sharing this thing,
Yeah.
or if I can. I don't
Yeah,
do this.
that was a great deal. $6 for a bamboo keyboard. That's because those
Hmm.
bamboo keyboards like that, they sell for what was it, $150 or more.
Oh, easily, yes.
Yeah.
You gotta if you want, I can share it, but somebody has to enable me to share the picture. So
Patrick has to enable sharing, I think.
he's thinking about whether he wants to.
Yeah. He wants to make sure you click on the going to click. He's just
Yeah,
trying to decide whether you're going to click on the right picture.
it's very possible.
Does it let you do it now?
Yeah, I doing it now. Let's see if I can. Uh, I would expect it to. Actually, that one might work if I do this. Uh, okay, so you might see yourselves first when it first shares. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to flip
Click on the
over. There
picture
it
you're
is.
going to share.
Yeah, yeah. That's. I don't.
Yeah.
Now you're probably seeing the picture, right?
Yeah.
So
No, you can tell by the wood, the look of the wood. That's the bamboo
yeah,
keyboard.
it's a bamboo one. Like I said, for
It's,
$6,
I,
it's USB.
the grain selections are interesting.
Wow.
You notice
Never
Yeah,
seen
Yeah, vertical keys and horizontal frame.
right, right. It seems to me that with a little tiny bit, well, not all the keys are vertical. The ones along the
yeah,
bottom are
yeah,
horizontal.
yeah.
So
uh-huh.
yeah,
A little effort they probably could have done. The funny thing about this is I'm walking in and there's some guy looking at it, holding it, looking it down. It's like, oh, that's cool. I mean, I didn't say anything. Joe kind of looking
Mm.
around. I walked by him. I turned around, a minute later, he put it down and walked away. I grabbed it and said, oh, this is great. The guy comes back and says, oh, yeah, this is great. Thanks. And I kind of walked away. I was that kind of person. You know,
I don't know. You
so.
snooze, you lose, right?
Yeah, that I'll just stop sharing that. Actually, hold on a second. I think I had one other. What other picture did I have? What's that one? Okay, yeah. This was the most recent iteration. This is my 8800C, and
Hmm.
we're working. And this is rather. Remember, I don't know if you remember the last 100 group. There, a bunch of them were buying those teletype televideo
Hmm.
995s for $60. So that's
Right.
one of them. It works great.
Yeah.
And then again, floppy disks drive that those are working with a lot of help from Patrick when I was working with. It has the FDC Plus on in there
Right.
running, booting up. So again, that was. I
Cool.
took a picture of it because I considered it almost complete at this point. The only thing that isn't complete is I don't have any guides inside it, so the cards do flop a little bit. So I have to get in there and but install. I did it kind of. I should have done the guides first, but I didn't. I was too excited to get it going.
Well,
So
you're not on a rocket ship. They shouldn't be moving around.
Yeah, I know, but it's, if I could see somebody bumping into the table or something, and
Yeah,
me powering it up a day later, and
and two cards are touching. Yeah,
yeah, that's so
Do
yeah.
I
you
You
have a
always,
good
I'll,
solution? Do
go
you have a
ahead.
good solution for guides? I've been looking. I don't have any guides in mind either, but I was trying to figure out what the best options are.
yeah, I'll share the link to
Yeah,
the ones
please.
I designed. Hang on a second.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I actually that's so the one behind me. If I stop sharing, would actually have. Let's see. Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
think
stop.
the
I'm gonna
cheapest
stop
is
sharing.
I buy the square dowel rods, wooden dowel rods at the
Yeah,
hardware store for $3. Saw little grooves in the thing to match the cards, and then just put some legs on it. And that way you can just lift the whole thing up and down out of your box if you need to. But with the
Sure.
legs there, you can still use the extractors to
yeah.
pop the cards out. And
So,
that's,
so
you're talking about a, maybe $5-6 solution,
yeah.
Sure.
and
So
the wood doesn't degrade like the plastic 3D printed ones do.
yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, my setup behind me, because it's got it covered. I got it covered in something because the sun hits it, and I try to keep the sun off it when it's not working. But that's using Tim's full height mounts, and it
yeah.
works
I
perfect
just
at home.
posted the link
Oh,
to
excellent.
Maker World in chat.
Yeah. So those are the ones I've been using, Todd. Uh,
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure there's other short half height ones and stuff. Walt
Yeah,
did some that actually
Walt's got
worked
some great
well.
half height ones. I have
Yeah.
those on my test
I,
rig.
on my test rig out in the garage, that's exactly what I use.
Right.
Those work well.
Yeah.
So,
But
so, so,
these ones were set up so that the top bar is high
Uh-huh.
enough that the 50 pin cable can go through without getting really
yeah,
pushed on hard. And then the top ledge is about right for extractors if you've got them on your cards.
extractors work. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And
so,
it's made in 4 pieces because when I tried making each one as a single piece, the
yeah,
layer lines were all wrong and it kept breaking on me. So,
Uh,
but it's fairly easy. It's optimized for the 9 slot. It holds the card cage off the bottom.
yeah, yeah,
okay.
So yeah, basically you could just bolt the card cage down with the bottom pieces and then mark for the holes for the vertical pieces and then take everything out, drill them through and then bolt everything down.
Okay.
right now I use it as a. Oh, maybe you can take that off. Hold on.
But and this was
Don't know
based,
if you can. Yeah, don't know see it. I'm using it as a standalone chassis. It's
yeah,
actually holding
Okay.
everything up. I have just some little standoffs under the bottom to keep it off the ground, and
Sure.
works great for that. I'm able to put
yeah,
cards in and out. I did 3D print one other thing. I created these little bars to go across because it does flex a little bit on the top because I don't have it really screwed.
right,
It's not mounted the way it was
Okay.
designed. So
right.
I
Yeah.
dropped these in with little notches, the little tape holding because the glue
Okay.
I glued them and taped them. So again, that's my little take on. But Tim's
Hmm.
stuff worked great, and like I said, Walt's half height ones that I have out in my
Yeah, I've
test.
got, yeah,
Awesome.
I
here's,
did the
Good. Good
exact
excuse to.
opposite, pulled all mine
here's
out.
what, it's hard to see because of the light, but here's what the half height ones look like in my test rig
Oh,
that
okay.
Walt designed.
Sure.
So yeah, my little test rig there
Yeah,
for
yeah,
doing
Yeah.
normal testing.
Well, see,
I
that's
found
what
this online as
I
well,
did
which is
I did the half height design for those external systems, for test kits and
right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. And then I found a little somewhere else. I found the little box for the power connector with a switch on it, and that's really useful as well.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's my test rig.
Mike, you said you pulled them all out. You don't use them anymore.
Well, I
What?
mean, my systems are never static. I'm always
Yeah,
inserting, removing boards and trying things. And the original ones, yeah, they're just so in your way and you're afraid you're going to break
right.
them any given second.
Yeah,
Yeah, my 18 slot 8800B, I mean, just a nightmare of things in your way. So I took them all out, and that was years ago. I've never put them back in. But so yeah, same on my 8800Cs and my original 8800 still has them in there because
yeah.
that's more like show. But
Hmm.
any computer I'm really using, they're just in my way in the Altair style. Now, I mean, other people where it's a nice rigid cage and the ejectors all work, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, where the
I
cage
kind of
is
like them for like
self-supporting, all metal, that kind of thing.
putting an extender card in there when you've got the, want to get a card up to
Oh, and
work on
yeah,
them.
everything's flapping in
Extend
the
it, it
breeze.
gets pretty floppy, or like my logic analyzer card or something like that.
Yeah, the problem with extender cards is they introduce their own set of problems.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I always just try to position the board at one end or the other and get to it, whether I want to get to it from the front or get to it from the back.
Yeah.
It's not convenient, but I gave up on extenders. Because, I mean, suddenly you've got new problems. Well, why is this wrong now? Well, it's because you're on the extender and didn't think about it. Yeah, for as slow as this bus is, it's amazing that extenders and stuff can change things.
Oh.
Yeah.
You think this slow bus would be immune, but it's just so noisy to begin with that it's...
Yeah. And then we get on to Terminators.
Well, the biggest problem with the Altair and all that is there's a lot of signals that are side by side that couple to each other and cause issues.
Right.
It wasn't designed very well as a bus.
No.
Really?
Hey, these connectors are cheap.
Well, it was. I read
they're
some,
not.
Yeah, I remember reading somewhere that they ordered the signals based upon the way they come out of the 8080.
Yeah,
and
just to make that board easy to lay out, and then everything else followed. Yeah,
right.
Because you look at that original CPU board, they all just go straight down without anything, basically.
You don't think they did the signal integrity analysis of having 100 individual wires crossing between backplanes?
Ooh. Yeah. Just keep slowing it down till it works.
Yeah.
There you go.
I've always been amazed that people kept buying those little 4 slots and wiring them together instead of just pulling out one 4 slot and putting in a big 10 slot or 18 slot.
Probably a lot of people, when they first bought the kit, bought a single 4 slot because they had, a CPU card and a memory card, and that was it.
Right, but when you start upgrading and you need more slots, it was actually about the same price to pull out the 4 slot and put in an 18 slot.
Right, but think about the other side of that. You've already soldered the 90 odd wires from the front panel into your 4 slot card. Do you really want to take all that out and try and do it again into a bigger?
Well, but they were, because you had to go from one 4 slot to the next 4 slot.
Oh, I get it, but
so that doubles the soldering.
Having been a poor, underpaid hobbyist in the early 80s, you did whatever you could afford and lay your hands on.
Yeah. Well, when I ordered my kit from MITS, I ordered it with a full length slot or backplane. I mean, so because I was pretty sure 4 slots wasn't gonna do it.
Oh well.
I was going like 4 slots, and it was based on their advertising that you had to have the CPU board and then a RAM board and then a RAM board and a RAM board and and so I was looking at that and I'm going like, if I need 10 RAM boards, I need more than 4 slots.
Yeah.
Well, it was an evolving technology. I mean, the original problem they had is that the voltage ran too high on the 8800C. So then they had a mod to put in a Zener-based pass transistor to reduce the voltage that all the boards then saw, so that the 7805's onboard regulation didn't get so hot. But then, as people started adding more and more boards, then having that pass regulator in the way caused a problem. So then later you took it out, so all within a year you needed this because there wasn't enough load. And then later, we have so much load now because everybody's adding so many boards. It was definitely a moving target for them the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when I built mine, I don't think they had the 4K RAM board yet. I think they just had like the CPU, the 1K RAM board, and that was it. Even though I had all those slots, because
I can't imagine the 18 slot board was there. That was for 8800B. So yeah, they definitely had bigger RAM by then.
Well, then it was a 16 slot. It was because I got my kit in it was like one of the first kits they shipped out. The first bunch of kits they shipped out, because I bought it right after I ordered it right after the January Popular Electronics came out. And so I was in that like first batch of kits, and just from what I'd seen in the advertising, in that magazine, I ordered the longer thing because I knew you needed more memory than 1K.
I knew IMSAI offered both sizes. I didn't know IMSAI-JAIR. I don't recall them having that. That's interesting.
Yeah, they had the four slot things, or you could buy the one that I forget if it's 16 slots or I think it's 16 slots for the full width of the box, and they had that, so I ordered that, and that was based on the fact that I had seen the different things in the magazine and other magazines that were coming out about the same time, and they were talking about you know more boards and more things you could do if you got the slots to get them in. So and it wasn't that much more expensive either. I don't think it was $50 more for the long backplane.
Unpopulated, I'm guessing then at that
Oh
point.
yeah, it's just a bare
okay.
board. Yeah. They didn't.
Yeah.
The kit.
It was a kit. Yeah.
The kit was all bare boards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and about 100,000 solder points later, you had a working machine.
Uh,
That was the hardest part, is sitting down, taking time to sit down and solder and solder and solder and solder.
I could do about 3 S100 connectors before I have to take a break. That's about my limit. When I was doing the 9-slot boards, and I've got like 3 of those now. Yeah, I'd get like 3, and then I'd go have a cup of coffee, walk around a bit, and then come back and do another 3. Yeah, it was definitely limits.
That's the best way to do it, because otherwise, if more chance of
Right.
missing one.
I think it took me 2 or 3 months to solder everything up, and then it took me another month just to get all the chips into the sockets. I think I had 4 chips where one of the pins folded under or bent out, and then that took a couple more months to notice those and fix them. But it was less than a year. I had the thing working. I could toggle in programs, and by that time I bought, I don't know how many programs I bought off of the Altair's official software library. But all you get is these paper printouts that were, photocopied from the originals, and they're at different angles and stuff. But they're little $5 programs, and most of them were useless, but you could toggle them in and get the computer to do them.
I'm surprised about the photocopying thing. I have all sorts of polymorphic equipment from a guy who passed away here in the Dallas area. And before he did, he's trying to find a home for it all. So I took it off, a couple of pallets worth. Anyway, he was collecting it from everybody else who was saying, well, time to move on to the IBM PC. We give up. But polymorphic stuff was amazingly professional. Standalone universe of their own, so to speak, that included all sorts of business software and inventory and accounting, of course, assemblers, editors, all running under their own operating system. It was very professional stuff. And yet, the schematic package that came, the drawing package that came with every computer, looked like 9th, 10th generation photocopy. I mean, I've gone through easily 50 sets of them trying to find any one of them that might have been a 3rd or 4th generation instead of 9th or 10th copy. And but that's apparently what they sent out. I mean, the manuals themselves looked okay, but it's like these schematic packages, they just kept copying whichever one they could grab, and it deteriorated.
Yeah, well, yeah, and back then the copy technology wasn't what it is these days too.
It makes it hard to read some of the schematics, which is critical, of course, right? Is that an 8? Is that a 3? Is that a 9?
A bee. It's a bee.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's good to grab up some of the original documentation when it pops up for sale if it's cheap.
Yeah, but see, this is technically original. That's what I mean. These are all original
Yeah.
owner documents in a plastic pouch from Polymorphic. It's like, man.
Oh, they didn't have a regular book like processor
Well, no, a lot of them
technology.
have books with a nice vinyl padded notebook with Polymorphic on it, you know, the whole professional thing. Like I said, the text part of the manuals wasn't too bad, but the drawing packages.
They weren't sending it out for real printing. Is really what it was. They were just using a office copier to send out
Yeah.
parts of it. Yeah.
I mean, the manual might have been printed, but yeah, to get the bigger sheets, they just would copy it again.
Oh,
And they didn't bother going back to an original each time. Oh, here's one. Use this one, copy this one.
There's a
I got a
smudge on the plate. Oh, go ahead.
if you don't mind me changing the subject,
Oh, good.
I'm working on a Shugart 800 drive, and it instantly blows the 24-volt fuse when I plug it in with everything connected. So I disconnected the connector that goes to the stepper motor and the head load solenoids. They're the only things that use the 24 volts on there, and I can power up the main, and it doesn't blow the fuse then. I've checked the continuity and the impedance on the all the stepper motor coils as well as the head load solenoids, and those look good. And it's one of these. It's one with the ASIC on it, and so I don't know what's going on when I power this up by itself. It doesn't blow the fuse, and it looks
And
like the
that's
motor
almost
outputs.
always a tantalum, but that wouldn't make any sense then if you remove those other devices and it doesn't,
Right.
unless having those in there then turns on a part of the circuit that's not normally getting power.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out is what's getting something's getting power.
Well, it's through those transistors, and I wonder if one of those transistors then is supplying 24 volts to the drive coil, and there's a filter cap on it. So that filter cap doesn't appear until that transistor turns on.
You're
I would
talking
definitely
about.
look at any tantalum cap on the 24 volt lines, including the
The
ones
thing
that
is,
are
there's no
switched by
tantalum
transistor.
caps. There's no tantalums on this board.
Some of them are axial.
Are those little silver ones? Let me see if I can disconnect this and get a better picture. Are these little silver ones here? Are they tantalums? These axial silver ones? Can you?
Yeah, I don't
see
know.
that?
Most of mine are the TTL boards. I know I've had to do this more than once on the PerTech and other drive boards on the 24 volt line.
Okay.
I mean, you can just meter any of those caps.
And I did. There's no, and that's the thing is I can measure the 24 volt and there's no shorts on it. I mean, and obviously,
well, not the 24 volt supply. Again, it could be a switched line that is 24 volts.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to look at. So the 24 volts basically just goes direct to the stepper motor because the common on the stepper motor coils.
So the transistors are pulling the low side.
Yep. Yeah, so they're switching. They're just that 2074 set of like 4 Darlingtons in a single dip package.
So
and that's what basically turns it on. So if the drive, the stepper motor is not connected, those transistors can't see 24 volts at all. And I was trying to check and see, but it looks like the motor control of the ASIC isn't enabling any of the Darlington transistors, from what I can tell. I thought maybe if the ASIC was turning them all on at the same time or something, that there was some short there.
Yeah, I don't remember what the coil resistance is, but it's very, very low. But you're measuring something same on all 3 phases.
Yeah, they're like 23 ohms.
Yeah. What about the erase coil?
Yeah, and the head load solenoid is like 220 ohms or something like that.
Yeah.
And so those seemed okay. So I just started doing a little bit of debugging here. I'll have to play around some more and see what's going on there. But something's turning it on. Goes on somewhere.
Trying to think if you had all 3 coils on at once, whether that would blow a fuse.
I wouldn't think so, but I don't know what the motor would do.
That wouldn't do anything, right? If all 3 coils are on, it would just
Yeah,
keep the
just go
stator in
off.
the same spot.
Yeah.
Stator.
So, and I've got
Tomato,
my
tomato.
other, I've got a couple of others with the discrete components on them, and I was going to pull one of those boards off and kind of swap it in, but I wanted to make sure that the stepper motor and the head load solenoid were good.
So where's
So
it blowing a fuse?
This is an old linear power supply that I have, so it's essentially a bench power supply. It's a, you can see it. It's a vintage.
I wish they
one.
made a nice switcher, modern switcher that had the right supplies for Shugart.
Yeah, they don't. Like for my rack mount here, I had to use one that could get me the 24 and 5, and then add a separate -5 supply for it.
But you don't need the -5 for the board you've got, but the discrete TTL needs it.
Yeah, that's right. This ASIC one doesn't need the -5. I forgot about
I don't
that.
have I only have 1 or 2 of those, but no, I have just swapped boards around, and the drive mechanism with its solenoid and stepper motor, etc., it doesn't care.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's safe to do, except for, yeah, you may blow another part now when you're discrete.
Right.
I mean, that's the nice thing about a switcher, at least, is it just shuts down that supply.
Shuts down. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was I watched the fuse once when I turned it on, and it was a pretty brilliant flash, so it went quick. I don't know why.
Blaze of glory.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all you disconnected was the stepper and the head load, or just one at a time?
Well, the stepper and the head load, they go to the same connector on there,
Yeah.
that edge connector. So I pull that edge connector off, so they were both disconnected.
Anything else on that connector that's 24 volts? Do you have door locks on yours? I guess the 800s didn't have door locks, did they?
Yeah. I have to do some more digging and see if the 24 volt goes anywhere else on there. I didn't see it, but I couldn't find a good picture of the connector and the pinout on the connector very well.
Yeah, that'll be the first time it wasn't a tantalum. Anytime I've dealt with anything like that, it's always a tantalum.
Well, that was what I was expecting too. And so, I mean, the first thing, I disconnected and I ohmed out the power supplies, and they had, decent impedance just on the, DC impedance going to the power supply. So it wasn't clear it wasn't a direct short. And then plugging in the controller board without anything connected is fine. So I haven't dared hooking the connector back up and, and trying to blow out the fuse yet. Trying to figure out what I should
well, I mean, it's probably not safe to hook up 24 without a 5 volt.
Yeah.
I was going to say just put a switcher on there and see.
Right. Well, I'll do some more debugging. I'll probably swap out one of the other controller boards and see if I can get the rest up, because the drive.
Definitely look what all's on that connector and see if 24 goes to anything else. That might be it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my next strategy. I'll get it started out.
Stared at that level in a long time. I got mine working, and they've all just been working. I love those drives.
Oh, nice. I've got another one that's working fine that has the discrete stuff, and I've got 2 more drives yet that need some service on the motor bearings before I fire them up.
I got very comfortable repairing the discrete ones. Some of the ones with the LSI chip on it had me scratching my head.
Yeah, I was hesitant to buy this one, but it was a good deal, so I thought I'd try it.
Well, there's 2 or 3 different versions with that LSI chip on it. One of them, the LSI goes north-south, the other one it goes east-west. One of them has that cross-hatch pattern like yours has in the foil.
Yeah, there's 4 different schematics in the last release of the manual. There's 4 different schematics for 4 different boards, and I think 2 of them are the ASIC ones and 2 of them are the discrete ones. Yeah, I prefer the discrete ones, I think, but we'll see.
Gotta stare and see if
Along
anything
that
jumps
lines,
out at me.
any suggestions for finding alignment disc?
I have some, but yeah, I don't know where to find them.
Yeah.
How would you create one if you had to? Is there any way to recreate them?
Mm, not with the standard floppy drive.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Not unless you do some funky things with the stepper motor to
Right.
partial tracks and stuff.
Yeah. 'Cause it seems like if it was not a huge task, there's at least a small market for them.
Yeah. Well, you look, I've been watching on eBay and stuff for,
Mhm.
the alignment discs occasionally, and you know, they're so expensive, and I'm willing to pay a decent price for
Right,
one if I
right.
can find one. But yeah, they're, and then you got to get the right ones because that works. I don't know. I saw they had a Altair one that went recently on eBay
Yeah.
for the Altair drives or the
For the
Pertec
PerTech
drives.
one.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah,
don't
they
know what's
used to
all
pop
in.
up now and then. They've gotten very infrequent.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What is the reason that you can't take an original calibrated floppy and copy it onto another floppy for an alignment drive?
There's analog signals on it, and they are not tunnel erased, so part of it bleeds into the edge of the next track next to it.
Yeah. Would it be possible to create a virtual alignment disk? No, that wouldn't work. That you could then write down onto a regular. No, again, you wouldn't. It's positioning the head is the problem. Positioning the head in exactly the right spots. So you can't even image one and then recreate from it. Yeah, they
What
must
you
use
can do
special
that doesn't
drives.
work too bad is if you have a disk that you know was written on an aligned drive, so you have to
Yeah.
have somebody that can align a drive and write something. And
Right.
if you have that drive bulk erased, you can get radial alignment just by monitoring signal strength as you
Hmm.
manually torque that thing against the resistance of trying to hold it. And you can get a feel for how far off you are. It always wants to fall back into its detent, but you can move it off that detent with a little bit
Okay.
of force. So you can just maximize for signal strength to a known good one. The harder one is index, although if you're doing soft sector, it's really not that critical.
All right.
But if you're trying to use a Shugart for
Okay.
hard sector controller like with the Altair, then the
Mhm.
index is important. However, if you have an empty drive, then it's pretty easy just to see on a scope where the data starts
Yeah.
because it goes from, for example, the Altair is outputting nothing but zeros. And on FM, that's just every, 4 microseconds, it's got a pulse. And then all of a sudden you have one at 2 microseconds. It's pretty easy to see.
Okay.
I mean, you may have to look around for it. And so I aligned discs that way in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And it was good enough to get a hard sector Altair running, which is very critical, like I said, on the index alignment.
Sure.
And then again, the radial, you ballpark off the signal strength. So you can tend to get one working.
Yeah. That's going to be my strategy for now.
Yeah. Or if all you really care about is I have two drives that are interchangeable. For example, if you have a drive that's reasonable, you can write your own floppy onto that drive. It'll be perfect.
Yeah.
And then just make your other one match that one.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I can send you a disc or vice versa, but who does that
Right.
anymore anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to disassemble a Altair drive and get it working again, a real Pertec one. I've been using my Shugarts to test all my FTC pluses here for the last 2 or 3 months because I haven't wanted to bother taking that apart and fixing it again. But I'm sure it's just the old problem where the motor is stalled and doesn't work again.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people out there have those drives. I don't know whether anybody be interested in seeing all that or not, but someday that's a project I got to go do yet again.
Right.
It would be fun to watch that. And yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch that. You know, I'm
You,
easily entertained
yeah, you
these
can
days,
test
by
it
the way.
here, test it here first, so we can tell you whether yeah, the public is going to get pulled into this or not.
Well, once it's done, I'm not doing it again.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
There we go.
Okay.
I should have said some bad things while it was not recording.
Uh,
But yeah, they're not, it's nothing like the Shugarts that just keep going. The only problem I have with my Shugarts is knocking the head pads off because the originals are long gone, and I tacked my own felt ones on there. And if you hit them from the side, they, you know, if your door's not fully up, then when you slide a disc in, you can knock them off sometimes.
Right. So is that just a felt pad, or what did you use for replacements on that to replace those?
I got a bunch of industrial felt with adhesive already on it, so it's a very good felt. And then I punch it with a Tandy leather punch, which is the exact right diameter.
Okay.
right. How thick is the felt?
The problem is the felt's getting old, so the glue is getting old.
Ah.
I can't use anything near the edges. I have to go into the middle.
Okay.
How thick was the felt? You remember?
Yeah, that thick.
Oh,
I'd have to go.
perfect.
I'd have to
Your
go measure it
analog
and see.
calipers there. Your analog calipers.
It's a little taller than I would say a new thing would have been from Shugart.
Okay.
A little thicker, but not
That's what I was
bad.
like.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't
theoretically,
think
that adds a bit more force.
Yeah. I should probably go look at mine because my 801s are, God, getting close to 45 years old.
So the biggest problem is the carrier for the head pad has these little tangs that
Yeah.
go through the hole in the arm. Those are all brittle and just break. And you have no way to stick a new head pad in there. I've had people try 3D printing them and all. It's just too small.
Too small.
Yeah. They've tried a whole bunch of different things. I mean, it could be that it's better just to glue one on and then replace the head pad, looking up underneath that. It's nice when it comes out. You can put it on your desk and do a very good job and snap it back in. But
Oh, okay.
making that part that can snap in is just not a 3D printing kind of thing, or at least not that I know of anymore. It could be one day, I guess, but
Yeah, I'm wondering because if you used the liquid printing, what's that called? The
Resin?
resin
Resin
printing.
printing?
The resin printed stuff is a lot stronger than
yeah,
what we do
he
at
made
home.
some that are resin printed.
Yeah.
If you're really interested, I can show you some of the work the guys have done.
Yeah.
I can't remember. One ended up being sort of useful. I can't remember which one it was. I'd have to go look at it again, but
yeah, I would think if you resin printed them, it would definitely be stronger. And if you pick the right material, some of the resins out there are diabolically strong. And the finishes are beautiful. My short car guides on my test rig are resin printed.
yeah.
I got them done by JLC for their service, which wasn't that bad for just a couple parts. But
Well, if you have an 800, yeah, pop that head carrier out of the
I got to
arm.
take a look at them. Yeah.
And it's the little, what would be ideal is if you could make the exact same thing that could snap back in, but
Right.
it's the snap part
Yeah.
that's almost impossible as far as I can tell. But I'm
I
definitely
might
not
take
a
a look at
3D printing expert.
Maybe I'll open up my drives and see how bad they are after 45 years.
Yeah, I was trying
They
to. I
haven't
don't
been
think
used
old
that
enough
much.
pads
They probably still have a good head pad on them.
Right. They haven't been used that much. And then what I did recently was I swapped the IDs on them. So what used to be the B drive is now
Yeah.
the A drive.
That's
So
smart.
it's the one that's got a lot less use on it. And it when I've been using it with the grease weasel, it gets really clean. Every time I read with it, it comes out really clean. So I counted my floppies the other day. I've got just shy of 100 floppies to image. And I keep putting it off and saying, oh, one of these days I'm really going to do this. It's like scanning manuals. Like I need to scan the manual for my micro engine because there's no copies of it out there, and it's about 400 pages.
Oh no, that's you give it to somebody.
Yeah, it's kind of yeah. It's not that bad. I just need to get a better my. I don't want to do it on the scanner on my printer. It would take forever.
Yeah.
I've scanned in several hundred pages. You can do it in one day.
Oh yeah, I just got to get a better scanner. I've tried the scanner that's built into my printer is just not up to anything. I tried, for example, your idea of scanning the boards, and it came out awful. There was no way I could get a clean scan using that scanner. It just wasn't up to it.
Oh, well,
So
I got a used HP all-in-one printer. It's got
yeah,
a scanner and a fax
yeah,
and copier and
yeah,
all that. But it's got that flatbed scanner on
right.
top, and it does a good job of
Yeah.
scanning boards.
Interesting, because I tried the same thing when I was looking at when I was getting the pictures of my IO4 modified for your web page, and it just I could not get a decent scan, so I ended up just using my iPhone and taking
Yeah,
pictures.
just take it to your local place that can do it for 6 cents a page.
Yeah.
Uh, I can
32
actually
bucks, that's worth
buy.
it.
I looked at it. I can actually buy a nice overhead scanner for a couple $100, and it'd be cheaper than taking the manual to FedEx and having them scan it. Plus,
Yeah.
I don't have to give it to. And unfortunately, the manual was originally spiral bound, and I took it off the spiral binder and three-hole punched it and put it all in a ring binder because it was easier to work with. So the edges are less than perfect.
Not feedable.
No, I wouldn't want to feed it. Some of them would definitely catch, so I'm gonna have to flatbed it.
Well, you can
And
get those overhead scanners
right,
that can read a book and flatten the
yep,
pages out.
yeah.
That,
I've been looking at one. I found one I really like for a couple $100. I just gotta, you know,
now
pull the
that's
trigger on it.
probably a better investment.
But yeah, I really should copy the manual because, like I said, I've never been able to find a copy of it out there, and it'd be nice to get a copy up and archived. And then it
And
has, I mean, it literally has theory of operation about edge triggering versus level triggering and the state engine that switches between the CPUs. It's quite interesting reading if you're into CPU board design anyway. So, like I said, one of these days, that's on my
Well, speaking
schedule.
of level versus edge, did Patrick or Walt, did anybody try that mod for the ZPU board?
I haven't tried it on mine yet. Patrick, did you try it on yours?
No, because I don't have a Krememco ZPU right now.
Oh, I thought you had one of the boards.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I've got
do.
it.
Mike has it.
Oh yeah, did you ever get my email?
No. Which one?
I sent about a week ago saying where do we stand on like equipment exchanges? That doesn't ring a bell?
Uh-uh.
Oh, and I sent it right after last week.
Yeah.
I don't, Patrick and I have sent each other equipment all the time, and so we just kind of don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get to the point where I've overloaned you and you feel guilty, or you overloaned me and I feel guilty. Well, where do we stand right now? I've lost track.
Oh, I don't know that we owe anything back and forth. I don't know that I have anything. I mean, well, like I said, we've sent a lot of stuff back and forth. But I just want to get a new front panel board and an interface board.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll PayPal those
Well, no, I mean, I don't even do PayPal anymore or anyway.
or whatever.
No, we've just never bothered charging because we're always sending stuff back and forth. What's the point, right?
Oh, sure.
Well, I've lost track of where we stand, and I don't want to be taking advantage of anything. So I just,
Oh, no, not at all.
okay.
If anything, I'm taking advantage. I'm not taking advantage of anything, am I?
All right, well, then I'll just send you these if you've got something good to send me in the next year or two.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, sure. Well, I'll be sending you the mini front panel when I got that done, an SIO when I got it done, and all that other stuff that I of my Altair SBC as soon as I got it done.
Yeah, you got a lot of projects you've started thinking about.
Yeah. I think I was talking to Todd earlier. I think it's the ADHD. I can't get any of them done, but they're all underway.
Oh, sounds familiar.
I've still got a job.
And I'm
What's
not even,
wrong
and
with
I've
me?
just got things to assemble, and it's like that.
Well, that's my problem. I still have a real job.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have that anymore, so I've got less excuses, I guess.
Start copying that manual, man. Come on.
Yeah, it's on my list. I'll definitely get it done.
Yeah, I think I'm sticking to Altair 8800 compatible systems,
There you go.
S100 bus.
I'm sticking with Z80s.
Well, I use the Z80. I have more Z80 based, but they're still more like the Altair 8800. But
Well, okay, Z80/8080.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I stepped back from that latest build. I swapped out the resistor network for a 47K
Mhm.
resistor network, and then none of the examines or deposits would step through memory at all. So I put another 4.7 resistor network in there, but still it's not stepping through the things. And I've tested the switches. The switches are making the connections, so it's not a switch problem.
So you've
But
tested the switches, you've swapped out the resistors, you've checked all the capacitors are the right values, right?
right, everything's matching that bomb that I posted on the
Mhm.
forum. Everything matches that bomb. And I think the 4.7 is supposed to be the correct resistor network.
Hmm.
Do you have a scope?
Yeah,
I would scope out the various one-shots just to
Yeah.
make sure they're one-shotting. Because I keep going back to your other mini front panels and my mini front panel where the sockets were bad, and I had to literally solder the chip in the socket in order to make it work.
Wow.
And that was the same on both your mini front panel and your full-size front panel. The 123s.
on this one, I have gone through with the multimeter and checked the continuity between the pin on the chip and the solder point on the back. And so I see continuity there.
Yeah, you pushing the test probe onto the pin on the front may be enough to cause it to
Yeah.
contact.
If it's flexing. Yeah, what was that post I saw on the S100 channel about the 68,000s dropping out of the sockets? Because again, the machine sockets weren't quite tight enough, and the pins were slightly smaller than normal on the chips.
Yeah, Jay Cotton was having that.
That was it, Jay. Yeah, and so that was up. Yeah, I was thinking about that as you were saying, and maybe it's flexing when you push on it to check continuity.
I'm not pushing that hard, and I also have double wipe, a lot of double wipe and machine sockets.
Oh, okay.
So, that's the single wipes are where you get that flexing problem the most.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
But the double wipe sockets, it's pretty hard to
Yeah, that's true.
get it open between the pin and the socket.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's so I just for the last couple of days I've been just working on another Dazzler game.
Okay.
Last few
But
days.
yeah, I think Terry's recommendation is right. Is on the schematic, it shows where you should be getting the one-shot pulses and how big they should be. So getting a scope on there and measuring the pulse durations to see if they're correct is probably not the worst idea.
I haven't seen that schematic that shows the waveforms.
Yeah, the one I was looking at, which is the one on the S100 computer site, that schematic had, for the one shots, it told you how long the pulse should be.
Oh.
And where to check it.
The bad part about that schematic is that's for a much older board.
Okay, but yeah, I'm just trying to think of starting points where you could test something.
Let's see.
But yeah, if you follow the logic through where it's marked for the one shots, it says, oh, it should be like it was like 92 microseconds or whatever here.
I'm sure that mini front panel does the exact same thing as the original, because it has to work with the timing that the 8080 expects. So,
well, that's what everybody keeps saying, but it doesn't seem to be exactly the same.
And you've tried this front panel with what CPU boards?
With a working TDL and the Krememco ZPU.
Have you tried it with an IMSAI 8080? Because thinking about what Mike said last week about the timing differences and having to tweak things, I wonder if the timing differences between the Z80 and the 8080 are subtle enough that you're just not quite where you're supposed to be for the Z80s.
Well, I don't have an IMSAI 8080 CPU board.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at that schematic on S100 and I don't see anything about waveforms on it.
Oh, I could have sworn that's where I was
It
looking.
tells you how long the pulses are.
Just tells you how long the pulse should be.
Where?
Right above one shot.
Yeah, it says, hang on a second.
Of course, my eyesight, I can barely see anything because it's so tiny.
Yeah, let's see if I can find it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's above the one shots.
Yeah.
Where's the one shot? Lower left, upper right?
Okay.
Upper left.
Oh, there's a bunch of them. There's basically a couple of one shots per switch.
Right.
Examine, deposit, single step.
I see the switch.
First one shot debounces it. The second one shot sets the time
Right.
of reaction.
Well, what's the chip number for a one shot?
The
That's
second
what
one,
they chose. Usually 123.
yeah, it's U20. And right next to U20, it's the second row from the, God, this thing's rotated in my, there we go, that's better.
I see.
So I just pulled it up straight off the website. You come in, if you look at the deposit next, for example, signal switch on the left-hand side.
The schematic I'm looking at has the deposit switch on the right side of the schematic.
Tim, why don't you share it, bud?
Yeah, hang on
Are
a
you
second.
looking at the mini front board?
Front panel, yeah.
That's what I got.
I went to the mini front panel on the S100
FP
side.
mini rev. It says in the URL, it says mini FP mini dash rev dash E dash schematic PDF.
Wait a minute. Are you on this page?
Let me, oh, you see, you're looking at a different schematic than I'm looking at.
Okay,
that's the one on the S100, isn't it?
yeah, it's the one on the S100 side. If you scroll down to the
Oh,
bottom.
yeah, and at the bottom, I click on schematic.
There's a current front panel and then a
Most current
iPad.
front
Oh, yeah,
panel.
most
Oh,
current,
I'm looking at the wrong one. There we go.
okay. Oh, it's sideways.
Okay,
I see
yeah,
what you
and
mean,
this is
Tim.
all sideways.
Yeah, I had to rotate it so I
That's
could
what the
actually read.
rotate option's for, Walt.
Yeah.
How do you rotate this in Google Chrome?
You just up at the top where it has all the stuff. For me, there's a little rotate right in the middle of the bar. A little square with a curved arrow.
Macintoshes,
there.
isn't it?
There we go. Okay.
And then you can zoom in a little bit, and then you can see the deposit switch, the single step, and then the deposit.
I see deposit on U17.
Right, and then it goes into U20, and it shows which is also part of the deposit circuit. So the first one's the debounce, the second one is the pulse generator, and then it shows it should be 97 microseconds for the pulse.
Now, where do you see the 90?
Right next to U20.
Let's see. Let me. Oh, I see a 1.3 millisecond. Right.
There's a deposit that's 14 microseconds. There's another one that's 97. So anyway, if you look at this schematic, that'll give you some test points because it'll tell you which chips and which pins. So you can then look at on your scope at what's coming out and see if it's the right size pulses.
And if they're
Worth
the
a try.
right size pulse, then what do I do?
Look elsewhere.
Look elsewhere, yeah. Anyway, hopefully, and then there's a whole thing here about, yeah, the relationship between pulses on different signals, jump, LED, HUSA. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff on here about pulse lengths and timings.
Yeah,
There's
if
actually
you
a
look,
timing chart.
if you
Right.
look at the most recent schematic, and if it's sideways still, on the middle right-hand side, it shows you some of the pulses
Right.
and the relationships. Do you see that, Walt?
Well, I got it right side up right now.
Okay, well, I don't.
In the middle near the top, there's a
In the
whole
middle.
series
In the
of
middle, yeah.
where it shows a whole bunch in the relationship. So, like I said, it might be worth getting your scope out and checking some of these and seeing if they look right. Because all it takes is one of these to be wrong, and you're going to have weird stuff happening.
Okay, so yeah, I just see this 14 millisecond deposit.
Right, and then there's a 97 millisecond a little bit below that coming out of U20. Then there's a whole little chart there with the relationship between some of the signals.
I don't see the chart.
It's right to the
In the middle there.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, and then there's others to say. Yeah, like I said, it might be worth checking some of these to make sure that the pulse widths are what's expected. And then if any of them are off, then at least that would tell us where the incorrect timing's happening.
Okay.
There's your homework, Walt.
Yeah.
Did you
Fun
guys
with scopes. Go ahead. Sorry, Jer.
did you guys start today at 2 or at 3 Eastern?
2.
2? Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Some of us started at 1.
Our other appointment
Well,
got
some of us start at 11 a.m. I mean, I'm barely awake.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
This meeting is being recorded.
okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay, back on
Terry,
your best
go for it.
behavior.
on my mini front panel, what is it? RR7, the resistor pack,
Mm-hmm.
is the board says 47K,
Mm-hmm.
but the part that's in there is a 4701, which is 4.7K.
Right, yeah, that was one of the things I corrected on my bomb, was making it a 4.7K instead of a 47K. That was like the first correction in those S100 forums. And then there was so much discussion going back and forth with people, I lost track of, what was working and what wasn't supposed to be changed in the bomb.
Dumb question. Did you happen to look at the back of the board and make sure all your soldering connections were soldered?
Yeah, see, that's what I scanned it in on the high-res scanner and looked at it, and I had found that 2 of the sockets weren't soldered in completely. So I fixed that.
Okay.
So everything's soldered now.
Do we
Okay,
like the
and
2
then
o'clock time better?
is this time good for everybody, or should I
Sure.
put up an hour?
Yeah, it's good.
I say we change it every week and get people on their toes.
Well, I thought that if we went to 11 o'clock my time, which is 3 or 2 o'clock Eastern time, we might get more of the people in Europe on here.
That's true. We haven't seen Paul for months now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we chat all the time in WhatsApp, but he's not making it on the calls.
Yeah. So I was hoping with the earlier time he might make it, but anyway.
Well, there's a couple other guys in Europe that could get in on the calls too, but I guess they didn't join today, so.
Well, let's see how it goes for a few weeks and go from there.
I'll try my best.
At 11, or I could shift it up to 12 o'clock, and
it's all good. Every time is what it is.
All right. Well, we'll try and keep it at 11 for now then.
Okay.
All right. See you guys.
See you in a couple of weeks.
See you in a couple of weeks, guys.